Now it's stuck in the bush.
Not my fucking problem. Got plenty as it is. Nah, that ain't my package. It has the Target logo on it.
Oh.
Yeah, there ain't no way. I didn't order my shit from Target.
I don't freaking know.
Well, I'm just saying.
Be funny if you did order your shit from Target.
Okay, that would be a little dumb if the box that came in was a fucking Target box. I mean, it, like, unironically had the logo on it, and that would be a little dumb. I should have asked someone else out there, but whatever. I mean, if you happen to see him, you know, ask him if, I guess if you ask him about it, because I need to get inside and smoke a bowl and get ready for work. But, I don't know, if you see him out here again, ask him about it. Because then I can at least email that place again and be like, hey, false alarm, or be like, yeah, no, I didn't get it.
I got your invoice, but I got nothing, bitch.
I mean, I seriously, like, I mean, that's a little what the fuck. Wouldn't you think, like, you get the package, but the actual package is not in there. But, like, the receipt for it is in there. It's like, what the fuck?
They're like, fuck you.
And I'm already in a fucking mood for other shit, so it's like, it's really not what I wanted. Come on. Come on. Jesus Christ. Why in the fuck is the chat so goddamn huge? Holy shit. The fuck is this? Fucking hell. Hold on. What the fuck? What in the holy goddamn? It's unbelievably drunk. I mean, don't worry about it. I'm honestly just gonna unlist it or something. I have a chance. And frankly, it's because that's why I don't let my friend Penalty on often. He's fine up until you get him heated about something, and then he fucking wants to literally go like fucking Viking Berserker rage about it. Or is capable of doing so. And it's like, don't really need that. Thank you very fucking much, but whatever. Honestly, between like the last few fucking days, you know, I'm already sounds like a personality. Well, he is. Though I'm just been in a fucking mood for like a few days, and it's really popping up right now. And then just getting a fucking like lack of a package. Like I was supposed to be getting a fucking lower for my handguard and shit for my firearm. And of course, that literally just didn't show up. Like, it's just a package with nothing in it. So, that's just fucking great. I already am, you know, kind of peeved up, a little upset about, you know, from bullshit yesterday, because my fucking, you know, what normally would have been a broadly decent night, fucking, you know, would have been better. But no, that ended up not being the case. I'm cold. I fucking hate being so goddamn fucking cold when I wake up. Fuck! That just pisses me off. It's like, can I not fucking shiver like when I wake up? Jesus! Fuck! It's like either I'm like fucking shivering or sweating balls off. It cannot just be fucking in between. Ugh. Then I gotta like do lazy for nothing fucking dash shit. Fucking like blows everybody off. I know at least like 5 people that want to like literally like beat his ass at this point. It's just like fucking hell. Ugh. Man, this heater's not doing much. That's like that. Yeah, there's no such thing as a fucking medium. And yeah, I like, it's at least sealed for this entire week. Can't catch a fucking break for shit. Outside of like a day, maybe. And even then, it was full of fucking different shit. And fucking yesterday was just like just ridiculous. Like, it was just fucked. And all because my dad literally just is a good-for-nothing motherfucker that, like, blew off my brother's dogs more so than anything else, to the point where, fucking God, like, I thought I can get, like, murderous. Holy shit. Though, frankly, I let it happen, all things considered, because, I mean, I fucking feel the same way about my dog. If I, like, relied on somebody to, you know, like, fucking, like, shit, like, if I expect my, you know, if I have to, like, you know, watch over him and shit, that is just not going to fucking, you know, like, be a good idea, or even be a metric of the ballpark at all. It's not even something I could fucking consider as a thought. So I honestly am rather be late on my breaks and lunches and get yelled at for that by bosses and shit, because at least I could take care of my fucking dog, and at least then they understand it. What to expect from him if it ain't gonna work? You don't think that's already happened? Holy shit, man. Dude, it's literally been like that, like, off and on when I was growing up, bro. Dude, most of my life, he's been like this. If he ain't fucking working, he's not. He's just, like, sleeping around literally doing fuck all. And if he wasn't working in between all that shit, that's predominantly what he was doing. So, he basically just finds any excuse to do fucking nothing. And it's like, I sometimes might have animosity and shit, but goddamn. My brother really got some fucking animositous, like, you know, fucking views about him. If I don't fucking blame him. I feel like a NEET myself. Dude, and that's why you're not. Like, I know what a NEET looks like, because I fucking live with one. who happened to birth me. So it's just like, well, not literally, but, you know, fucking impregnated my mom. So it's just like, yeah. Dude, don't fucking, like, think you are. Because I know what it looks like. Like, a NEET actively, goes out of their way to avoid doing fuck all. Like, at least someone who might not have a job has to, like, rely on some welfare, this, that. At least there's some, like, there's a level of, like, hey, I still gotta do some shit. You know, I might not like it, my bitch about it, gotta clean the house, do this, that, blah, blah. Like, there's still shit that's done. It's not inherently just, like, NEET where I'm not, like, literally doing fuck all and lazing around all goddamn fucking day doing fuck. Like, that is, there's a difference. Like, you're not a NEET. I keep saying that shit, because, I mean, it might be, like, I guess, tendency toward it, but there's plenty of shit, honestly, frankly, that makes you different. Some days. And frankly, I mean, having a day or two to just kind of hang out in bed for most of it, like, dude, some of my weekends to do the same shit. Like, I mean, this past weekend I didn't, but the weekend before that I kind of did. Like, one of the days I was just hanging out at home in my bed for most of the day. Outside of maybe to go out and grab some food and walk my dog a little bit, but beyond that I never really went outside. And then this week I did a little bit. But sometimes just having a day where you're just, like, fucking off in bed, it's good. It's nice. I mean, it's nice to have a day like that. Obviously it's different if you're being depressive, but just the virtue of having a day like that where you just kind of mental reset yourself, it's just needed. But I am definitely just been like, and then also my mom told me, it's like, hey, can you call me before you go to work? And straight the fuck up, like, I just have called her like 4 fucking times before I started this and nothing. It's like, holy shit. This is another thing too. It's just like the lack of fucking communication. It's like Jesus fucking Christ, I get so done with it. Like, I'm not even at the greatest about it, but fuck. I mean, like, holy shit. Oh my god, about this fucking DLC again. I'll get to it when I fucking get to it, bro. Holy shit. Like, start talking about when I start talking about it. How about that? Because then you know I bought it or fucking got into it. Yeah, because I kind of betrayed to it. Hey, honestly, if there's anything that I've gotten from my workplace that's actual genuine experience, it's actually learning how to communicate with people. Well, enough. Learn how to communicate people enough. Deal with quirks and whatever the fuck else. I talked to 4 people well, and everyone else almost not at all. Just treat him like, well, just treat him like he does the other 4 people, basically. Because honestly, like, I mean, it really isn't as, like, hard as it seems. It's just more about trying to, like, you know, keep the conversation going, more so than starting one. Their mags, a critical edit. Dude, it's just, dude, there's like meme edits of this whole like Sneeko takedown.
That guy just like the.
Alright, you know, alright, I want to listen, I want to check it out. This is gonna be putting me in a good mood.
I'm sorry to be that guy, just like the grammar police.
Yeah, this is gonna get me in a good mood.
He's a fucking imbecile. You absolute buffoon. What you have there is not clips. These are mags. They're mags, not clips.
Hey! Fucking good edit. You know what? This is the only Sigma grind set
Same way.
fucking edit I'll be okay with.
Also, a mag. They're all mags. Stop saying clips. You look fucking stupid here.
You know, yeah, that's an edit. Was he just in a cowboy hat? Alright, that was good. That preemptive like was worth it. That was some good shit. I think talked about is it dude, it is a propaganda piece. Literally any like quote unquote autistic documentary that talks about autism being like some sort of a disease or fundamental disability that needs to be quote cured or stomped out or whatever the fuck, it's propaganda. If anything, pretty eugenicist in nature, if you think about it. So, yeah. Fuck that. Dude, Mike's fucking titles. Boob sweat Karen goes viral on TikTok. Dude, it's that lime flavored Karen. With the absurd boob sweats. Oh god. Ugh. Here, I wanna hear Mike's take on this. You saw this, but fuck it. We'll watch it again.
I want to kick off the stream by talking about this lime-flavored Giga Karen who was
a lime-flavored Giga Karen?
Apparently lambasting people in a Starbucks for being gay and Asian. And before I even watched the video...
Those goddamn gay Asians! How dare they?
Do you all just want to take a guess as to which state this occurred in? Just take a wild guess. Anyone? Which state was this Karen spotted in? Ding, ding, ding.
Of course it's Florida.
Prino Blade says, Florida. You would be correct. This took place in Miami, Florida. So let's go ahead and watch, because I saw about half of this, but it's pretty wild. But we're gonna watch the whole thing now.
Hey, what is wrong with you? That is not okay.
No, is lesbianism okay?
It is. Yeah.
No, it isn't.
Why isn't it?
Because you touch children, you rape children.
I touch children.
Because you're all evil.
Oh. You're evil. God doesn't want you to talk that way to people. Do you go to church? Oh, I'll record you.
Oh my god, I hate that. Like, I will admit, like, God won't want you to be this way. Do you go to church? I'm, gonna be a better Christian than you. Yeah. It's like, oh my god, like, can we not evoke God when, like, going after a Karen, please? Can you just, like, call her, a dumb fuck racist lime-flavored harpy and just, like, shove her out of the Starbucks?
Oh, sweetheart.
You know who I work for? Do you know who I am?
No.
Oh my god, I love that part. Do you know who I am? Do you know who I work for? It's like, yeah, you're not gonna be working for them for long, and we don't give a fuck who you are, you lime-flavored bitch. You sour ass little motherfucker. It's like, I mean, goddamn. I love this shit these people do sometimes. We're just like, do you know who I am? It's like, even if I did, I wouldn't give a fuck. It's just like, even if you're like the wife of like some oil baron or some shit, I wouldn't give a flying fuck. And if that was the case, you wouldn't be sitting here with your boob sweat fucking lime-flavored dress, fucking freaking out about gay Asians or something.
Knows who you are. Okay, great.
You'd be horrified if I told you who my employer was. Who is it?
Probably like the local insurance company that's gonna look at this and be like, this does not look good for our image, and fire her.
Escobar. What? Pablo Escobar. Lady, shut up. I don't know if you all noticed this, but well, it's a little bit inappropriate to point it out.
Nah, it's totally appropriate. For fucking harpies like this, like for racist Karen shitbags and sexist Karen, or I guess like, also like homophobic shitbags like this, like, I mean, like, as far as I'm concerned, it's free game. Open ballpark.
Let me just say that she had a little bit of boob sweat going on. I feel like it's indecent of me to say that, but since she's being an asshole, we can kind of poke fun at her for stupid things like that, but let's continue.
Ashamed of yourself. You should be ashamed of yourself talking to people this way.
No, sweetheart.
Yes, sweetheart.
I'm actually very proud. Are you the manager? Yes, I'm the manager. Oh, okay. I'm gonna eat your name. I'm gonna eat your name.
Oh, typical Karen. Are you the manager? Oh, okay. What's your name?
What's your name and employee ID number?
Okay, well, who's...
I'm gonna treat you like, I'm about to, like, try to hold a police officer accountable because you are a manager that's not, actively serving me properly. So what is your employee ID and your name? What's your employee ID number? Excuse me. Where's your corporate number? Where's the district manager's number?
Your manager's manager.
We're so sorry.
Hey, weird lime-flavored rotting Karen of shit. Like, you know what you should have? That door hitting you in the ass on your way out of that building. Like, I mean, like, nah. Like, you shouldn't be served or anything, frankly. You shouldn't even be given a fucking, company card or whatever. Be like, hey, you can call the district manager about this. And even then, they wouldn't fucking address it. They would just, like, hear her rant off about it on the phone call, be like, alright, man, we'll take care of that, hang up, and then literally forget about it. Or expect trouble. I mean, honestly, frankly, there has been situations where people haven't been, like, super, like, militant about shit, but have been, like, cunts, like this Karen here. And frankly, yeah, at a certain point, we just tell them to fucking leave. I mean, it's like, like at a certain rate. Like, I mean, it's one thing to maybe be, like, having a back and forth between, like, a one-on-one thing, and there's, like, an employee that steps in to be like, hey, what's going on? And at least being a mitigator. Like, and honestly, those situations especially happen at, like, the check stands a lot. I see that actually happen pretty frequently. Not, like, maybe, like, once or twice every so often, like, a week or so, maybe. Like, and it always usually resolves with nothing really happening. It's usually like somebody has a bad day and they pop off, and then, you know, just kind of vents, and then, you know, there's a back and forth for maybe like another 10 minutes where they're obviously a lot more calm, and then like they just leave, you know, after they got their stuff or whatever the fuck. And if anything, it usually ends up being okay. But like, if it's this type of situation, we don't like fucking just give a shit. We will just straight up like just tell them like, nah, you gotta go, you gotta leave, you're causing a problem and you're becoming a nuisance and, you know, disturbing people here. Like, you know, this is like, you need to leave. Yeah, like, at this point, you're officially trespassing. When he sees gay people in public and it's incredibly embarrassing. Jesus Christ. Man, I just want him to do that to the wrong gay guy. Like two big, bared out biker men that are, like, openly gay. Like, these just beefcake bikers, you know, and he just says some shit like, you gay-ass faggots or some shit. I just want to see those two just, like, say what now? Say what now, boy? You know, just, like... just take a, you know, take a man out of the barn like old Yeller, you know, just like, cause man, if he really thinks he's gonna be able to get away with that shit for that much longer and shit, there's all, you know, there's always the phrase, "I'll fuck around and find out." I mean, cause one day he's gonna mess with the wrong motherfucker doing that.
Well, it's not you.
Yeah, just think.
Wait. That Karen was talking about being intimidated? I didn't even hear that from the initial clip when I first saw that. Wait, she literally tried to play the victim? Even though she's victimizing other people at the Starbucks by trying to, like, dehumanize them and fucking, you know, like, harass them and shit? Like, huh? These fucking harpies, dude.
Missed it. This is the boob sweat that I was talking about. Really inappropriate.
Yeah, hey, there's a thing called, like, baby powder there, lady. You should probably wear some. You should probably, you know, put a little pop down there, you know what I mean? Or maybe not, like, you know, wear, you know, like, some, like, fucking bras that lift, you know. Maybe you should let them sag a little. Like, maybe you should just, like, embrace your old ladiness and just embrace the fact you're uglier with them sagging, because then we don't have to see the boob sweats.
Yep.
You screwed me out of a potential date. I would have, like, frankly, I would have popped the fuck off and, you know, then just obviously apologize about that to the person. Be like, yeah, obviously, sorry about that. He's a piece of shit. And blah, blah, blah. Like, I mean, but what, you know, he's... Dude, again, he's gonna eventually pop off on the wrong person about that.
Tweet from Donald Trump about Barney Frank, where he was like, Barney Frank looks so disgusting in his blue...
Wait, what the fuck? Barney Frank looks disgusting, nipples protruding in his blue shirt before Congress, very disrespectful. Got out of there quickly.
Nipples protruding, so disrespectful. Anyone remember that? That was the best tweet of all time.
I don't even remember that. I never even knew this was a thing. When was this? It doesn't even say. When the fuck was that?
His blue shirt. That was the best tweet of all time, hands down. But, so, apparently, the lady who she accosted took...
Oh shit, there's a follow-up with this story?
TikTok to kind of explain the situation. And it wasn't just that lesbian couple who she was railing against. Like, she was kind of just going around harassing everyone.
So here is a part 2 to the Crazy Starbucks lady video. I just want to preface this by saying that my partner and I very, very rarely participate in PDA in public. We were not holding hands, we were not all over each other, we were just standing next to each other. We know better, especially in a place that's not always accepting of the queer community, we were being safe.
I mean, it just kind of seems unfortunate that she and her partner basically have to fucking consider the fact that there's pieces of fucking shit like that old lady, you know, that might freak out over the fact that they might hold hands or something. Or, quote, be all over each other, which, it's like, and even then I want to really seriously fucking you know, like, you know, a big deal. If you know, like, honestly, like, do you know how many times I've, like, walked at parks and I've seen, like, a couple, you know, like, making out, like, on the park bench and shit, and one of them's, like, on the lap and kind of, like, on top of the other or whatever? Dude, oh my god, I'd probably be fucking retired at this point. I mean, honestly, especially at the Portland waterfront during the day, like, especially during the spring or summertime, Jesus Christ, that's like a dime a dozen. And not just, like, straight couples, but gay couples, too. And it's just, like, no one ever gives a fuck, because no one really cares. It's not a big deal. Like, and it really shouldn't be. When you see same-sex couples doing anything, well, maybe you should start complaining every time you see same-sex couples and just use the same logic, being like, hey, they shouldn't be showing affection, they should keep that in their bedroom. If you question, it's like, what are you, bitch? It's like, nah, I'm just being consistent about it.
With me. So anything that she said to us was based on an assumption. Yes, it was correct, but no, it was not based off of the behavior that we were displaying. So we were getting ready to get on a cruise ship, and we decided to stop at Starbucks on the way. We walked in, and everybody was looking in this woman's direction, which in a Starbucks is kind of weird because usually people are minding their own business, maybe getting some work done. So
I mean, that is actually true. Like, if you're in Starbucks, literally nobody's, like, paying attention to anybody. Like, everyone's minding their own fucking business.
Approached the counter. We heard the woman making very racist comments using racial slurs. She was saying anybody that was a person of color was a product of the devil, and that we were all sitting in the presence of the devil and not doing anything about it.
What the fuck? So, if you're just, like, a brown person, like, so what is she, what, is she, like, some OG Mormon or something, too? Like, she believes that, like, the angels that essentially, like, fucking, I don't believe that, by the way, but, like, that thumbnail that's popped off. Like, and honestly, like, this idea that, like, I mean, like, the angels, you know, were essentially the ones that, joined Lucifer, at least in Mormonism, were literally all fucking, like, turned black, basically. Like, I mean, that's literally a part of, like, the Mormon lore that's been, like, kind of revamped now at this point, but plenty of them still believe in it, and honestly, a lot of Christians do, too, just outside of Mormonism, including that cunt. Trump's gonna get arrested. I don't believe it. Like, honestly, like, that's been said so many fucking times, like, I'm gonna wait until I actually see the legit breaking news of seeing him in cuffs. Like, until I see that shit, I ain't gonna fucking,
Nope, false news.
I mean, it's more or less that
False news.
I mean, it's not really that, it's just more or less that I'm just gonna, I'll believe it when I see it. Oh, is he? Is that imminent? Well, fucking do it then. Like, until then, like, I don't give a shit. Because even then, he's still gonna try to run and all that, so. To our Harley, Fred said hi. Bam says hi. And it's Harley.
I'm getting wrecked!
And then she approached an Asian customer in the store and said that the Asian community brought COVID over here to kill all of our people, and that they were evil and creations of the devil. And so that's when my partner stepped in and said something, and that's when I started recording. So she was not provoked by anybody, and when she was recording, when I started recording, that's what you saw. And then after that, not much came of it. The police were called, the manager was quick to remove her. The video's only a minute long, so trust me, things happen quickly. The Starbucks employees were absolutely incredible to us and did a very good job handling the situation. To everybody saying that she's entitled to her opinion, yes, everybody is entitled to an opinion, but the key word of that is opinion. She was not stating an opinion, she was making false accusations towards people that she has never met, and accusations that really could destroy somebody's livelihood.
And, I mean, frankly, this idea that, like, you know, it's an opinion that you think, like, black people and brown people are, like, the creation of the devil should just not be accepted or entitled to. Like, that's just fucking inherently, like, racist, fucking, just, like, mystical, insane fucking shit. Like, fuck that. Like, I know she's not necessarily saying that, like, you know, that's an inherently agreeable position. She's just saying, if anything, she actually is critiquing it, saying, like, she's, you know, not stating opinions. She's stating accusations and shit. Like, you know, this isn't, you know, something she's entitled to. So she's actually agreeing to it. But, like, Like, anyone that thinks it's just like, what's entitled to the free speech? It's like, fuck you. It's like this idea that, like, oh, I could just, like what? You're gonna say that, like, oh, we should be gassing the, you know, well, I don't even want to, like, you know, jokingly say it, but, you know, like, it's just like, you know, if I make, like, accusations about Jews and shit, like, is that gonna sound, like, is that just an entitlement of opinion? Like, no, it wouldn't be, wouldn't it? Like, it's like, unless you're, like, some extremist about it when it comes to, like, speech, but then at that point, especially if you're okay with that type of stuff and feeling like you're entitled to those type of opinions, it says a lot more about you than anything else.
A lot of people were also wondering why we didn't do more or say more, but it's one of those situations where, number one, we were in shock, and number two, escalating it wasn't going to get us anywhere. I think it's obvious and clear that her opinions were pretty much solid, and no matter what we said was not going to change her mind, so
kick her the fuck out. Like, literally physically grab her by a dress and shove her out the door. Then have that door hit her on the ass on the way out.
just trying to defend the other people in the store, keep calm about what she was saying to us, because it wasn't going to go anywhere. All of the support that we have received has greatly outweighed all of the negativity, so anybody leaving kind of supportive comments, we truly do appreciate it, and it does mean a lot. Anybody else, just move on. If you don't agree with us, move on. You don't need to say it, but thank you, everybody, and there was...
Well, luckily, overall, it seemed like the situation, broadly, resolved itself. I mean, she even said that the manager of the Starbucks kicked her out and did remove her. So, and it seemed like that did happen, like, after the video was recorded. So, I mean, all in all, the situation happened about as best it could, I suppose. I mean, I probably would have been a lot more verbal about dealing with her, but, I mean, yeah, like, when you're kind of like a bunch of, like, Starbaristas, just kind of all going in there for your, like, your little mochas and lattes, I mean, you're not exactly going to be a hyper-confrontational person by nature, So, like, obviously the shock is going to kind of overwhelm more so, than it would for me, probably. Because the shock would just, channel that into, you're fucking gonna get out of here now. Like, what in the fuck? Like, for me, I channel that shit into an energy, that at least could be productive. I'm not just like... I mean, not like, they weren't just not doing anything. They're clapping back, but... I mean, fuck. I would have been a little bit more aggressive, personally. I know you won't read it. I have, to kill the gays, and, I have the free speech to saying. Well, that's why free speech is just kind of just a bullshit thing at this point, a little bit. Because, I mean, not that, like, the idea and concept isn't necessarily bullshit in nature, but just, like, how people, like, like, enact it, or like as an idea, or try to, like, push it as a philosophy, because no one at this point ever actually believes in it, even if they openly say they do. Because everybody's got a limit when it comes to speech and shit. And even, like, societally, we've, come to at least some basic sense of agreement that, like, certain speech is very limited, like, when it comes to certain shit. So, like, there's obviously extents and limits to what you can just say, so to speak. Like, it's like, I guess legally, you could technically yell fire in a movie theater, right? But, there's still going to be ramifications and some pretty severe consequences, especially if you do legit cause a panic and people get injured. Then, yeah, you would most certainly be legally liable for it. And I agree. Like, there's definitely an element about speech that can that can honestly be legitimately, more of a consequence, more so than, like, I mean, it's basically just kind of like the tolerance paradox, basically. It's like you're so tolerant of, like, intolerance that, intolerance, essentially takes over the tolerance. It's basically the idea where you have, like, somebody who's intolerant, like fascists, for example, and you use the idea of being tolerant as a way to, like, be like, hey, if we just, like, have it back and forth, we'll be able to, like, work something out or something. And it's like, no, that literally is never how it works. Especially with someone who seeks no compromise. At least an idea that doesn't. 100% harmful. I mean, well, I will suppose, like, you know, that could use a little elaboration. I mean, because, like, when it comes to fascist speech, like, something like, you know, Matt Walsh and his, like, propaganda and shit, absolutely. I suppose if it comes to just, like, you know, maybe, like contextual, like, well, I suppose you probably don't disagree, even, like, when it comes to, like, contextual reading of, like, you know, something, you know, that fashion might have said, or maybe discussing, you know, broadly, you know, the topic of it. You know, or maybe, you know, like, and there's also at least a merit of, like, the whole idea of devil's advocacy, you know, at least when it comes to it. But, you know, so, I mean, when it comes to, I guess, like, speech that, you know, can be, I suppose, fascistic, I mean, it, you know, obviously would heavily imply the contextual nature of how that's being used. And, of course, you know, when it comes to, like, fundamentally enforcing that as, like, a piece of propaganda that needs to be pushed as an idea and / way of life, then, that's a problem. I mean, frankly, I don't necessarily give that much of a shit for fascists as, like, the opinions they do, as long as they're not going to be militant or aggressive or go out of their way to try to force it. Like, if they want to have their own little, like, life, you know, built around those ideas, and have at it, you weird fuck, but, you know, just leave everyone else out of it. It's just when, you know, they want to enforce that on literally everybody else when it becomes a problem. And the world won't say miss, so I put them in. Well, yeah. I mean, it's sadly kind of a very, like, it's a hard thing to solve when it comes to, like, fascism and these extremist ideas. Like, because it really is, like, either you gotta, like, you know, draw the line in the sand and likely they'll cross it, or, you know, try to, you know, educate them and, you know, deconvert them, basically.
Why can't anything be easy?
Because it ain't. It's about almost 3:30 here, so I think I'll get at least this bowl smoked up here, and then, you know, have a word on all that fun shit. He all fascists into the sun. Anyone else who turns fascist gets yeeted into the sun too. Well, maybe we could work. Maybe we could strike a deal with, like, Bezos or something. Be like, hey, as long as you just stop being a capitalist pig dog and shit like that, and just do what we want, we won't do anything to you necessarily. But, you know, you can literally keep the exact same amount of wealth you have now, but you can't make any more. I mean, if you lose some, then you lose some, but, you know, it's like, you know, like, you'll literally be capped where you're at. You know, well, we can make a deal or something, because then we could just use his, like, his space thing, you know, to just, like, just have little orbital, like, little pods and just launch them to the sun. His little dick rockets. Then we could just have a whole row of them, you know, just ready to go. And just, like, launch his little dick rockets up in space and just eat them to the sun.
You know what? I don't even want to know.
Or do you?
I don't.
But anyway, gotta have to work. So I'll be back later tonight, and when I get up there, first thing I'm doing after I clock in is grabbing a fucking coffee. So anyway, be back a little later tonight, and toodaloo.